Welcome back to the Forex Fortress as we get ready for a new week of trading opportunities. And following up on last week's closures, I do expect that there's plenty to be looking at today. So with that said, we'll start off with good old Dixie as always. And what is Dixie doing? Well, a clairvoyance of the higher term timeframes, as we did identify a couple weeks ago. The actual breakdown did indeed occur upon our critical level, just above 92 bucks right here. Following through with that, we do see a death cross on the weekly moving averages right here as well. So that's a momentum play plus a structural play, and well, I would still be looking for this one to reach a little bit further to the downside, even after it is having a little bit of a short-term pop to the upside right here. The breakdown does appear to be real, and I would be looking for it to find its way somewhere down around the slightly maybe even below $90 region. However, I would be looking for bounces anywhere around here, which we'll actually start to mark off right now on the macro. That is, let's get this level in right here. That's an area of interest. This one's an area of interest as well. And of course, if we are looking for the initial bounce, actually we got it right there, but seeing as that it's not necessarily relevant to the current conversation, we'll actually get rid of this. This is kind of where I'm looking for on the macro scale. And with that said, going into the daily, do we see anything resembling a reversal here? No, not really. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, but Crown, we have a hammer dildo and then we have a continuation of the upside. It must be reversing back on a new all-time highs. Maybe, but the point is that there's really no reason to be looking for a macro reversal on this one, as long as we're below the prior breakdown point, which was the 92 and about 14-cent pivot right there. So with that said, any short-term movements, I would essentially be looking for them to likely fall on over. Short-term, it actually does look like it wants to take a little bit of a leg up here, maybe even test back up towards about 91 and 35, maybe even 40 cents, something like that. But ultimately, I would be looking for this one to reach a little bit lower and then potentially put in the next major low somewhere in this territory right here. Does that mean that it's guaranteed to do that? No, of course not. Just like this $92 area right here, it's just it's just a postulation for a long-term trade to be basing long-term price action upon. But for right now, extremely short-term, yeah, probably a little bit of upside. However, weekly is still bearish and still in breakdown mode, and I'd be looking for this one to carry on a little bit further to the downside. So with that said, we'll start it off with good old Aussie dollar right here. I imagine we're going to see a short-term pullback based upon what we're seeing in Dixie right now. Indeed, that's what we do see, a little bit of a backfill on last week's weekly's open, but would it be relevant to be looking for a pick-me-up based upon this region right here? Well, this is indeed your higher low structure as it is, so this would also postulate that, hey, if if Aussie dollar does break below this level right here, and we actually do start to get a full-on reversal on the 4-hour time frame at the very fucking least, then yes, we could be targeting a move much, much lower down towards about the 73-cent region right here. However, a lot needs to happen before that. So again, keep a clean eye on this 73.5-cent pivot right here. As long as that area does hold, I'm essentially just looking for this one to kind of float its way upwards and onwards. However, looking at it right now on the daily, do we see any sort of warning signals going on right now? I'm sure a lot of people are going to call this bearish divergence between this point and this point. I'd say that they're a little bit too far away for me to really care that much about it. But to be fair, it technically is in there, and I have actually gone through a shit ton of studies now, and divergence plays do matter, like more than what I would have initially given them credit for. It's just that they loosen their sort of their potency. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. The further that you go out before that divergence is actually identified. So in this case right here, when this is multiple weeks away, how much more downside could we reasonably expect on something like this? Yeah, maybe back down to that 73.35 pivot right here. However, I would be looking for a short-term bounce off that region. And what's going on over here? Elsa's having some sort of an issue. It must be a medical emergency. Are you pregnant? She doesn't like that. Anyways, how do we looking on the weekly? Yeah, on the weekly right here, again, maybe a test back down to that region, but I would be looking at that as at the very least a short-term opportunity. Ultimately, I do think that this one has more upside to go on the weekly. Moving on to CAD dollar, what do we see right here? Whoa, massive girthy green dildos. This one's going off the fucking charts. And short term, could we maybe see a pullback back down to like 77, 75? Yeah, potentially yes, but long term, looking pretty damn good. And similar to what we just saw on Aussie dollar, I'd be bullish on the weekly still, looking for this area for the next macro pivot. Also in line with the 377 on the weekly here as well, and also a prior high coming in from April breakdown of almost 2 years ago in 2018. So quite nice there as well. And again, short term, do we see a little bit of a pullback? Maybe yes, but based upon the higher term timeframes, I would be looking at that as an opportunity. Daily, kind of same thing here as well. I'm essentially just bullish on daily, weekly, short-term timeframes. Maybe a slightly greater pullback here, but nothing more than that, at least for now. Moving on to Swiss franc dollar, what do we have right here? We got a little bit of a consolidation at the highs. Let's start up with the low-term timeframes first. Or should we start up with the higher-term timeframes? I believe we're bullish on this one coming into this week right here, and holy fucking moly, there we go once again, bringing up the energy for right now, and I'd be looking for new highs on this run probably sometime this week. What are going to be the next historically relevant regions to the upside? Well, anywhere around this prior high that it put it in about March 2014 in this territory between about 114 and 114 and a half. So I would be looking for some more upside here based upon the weekly. On the daily, same thing as well. You know, maybe it comes back down and tests the breakout point somewhere right. Hey, fucker, get my damn horizontals over here. Stop fucking around. You know, maybe it comes back down and retests the breakout point, but as long as we're above it, I am short-term, medium-term, and long-term bullish. Looking at the 4-hour here too. 4-hour could very easily have a pullback. I don't really have a natural proclivity here. It's kind of like the other two charts. Short-term, maybe a little bit more of a pullback, but daily, weekly, and I imagine all higher term timeframes looking for some more upside action. Moving on to Euro Pound, what do we have over here? Ooh, man, girthy green dildos in my face is what we got. And looking at the weekly, I'd be looking for this one to take another leg up. Short-term target would be somewhere around 9160-ish region. However, I don't really think that there's too much stopping it on a weekly from this area right here, somewhere around the 92 3/4 pivot, of which all momentum oscillators are bullish here too. I mean, hidden bullish divergence on the weekly got confirmed, I suppose, not this week, but last week, and then weekly Stokes turning up at the same time. Pretty good signal, all things considered, so I would be looking to explore a little bit more of the upside territory here. Looking at daily, yep, maybe a short-term pullback from this region, maybe back down to about 91 cent even, but I would be looking at that yet again as another opportunity. And yeah, same thing on the 4-hour too. Maybe a little bit of a pullback, but ultimately, higher term timeframes are bullish and looking for more, sir. Looking for more. Euro dollar, you fuck. You gigantic fuckwad, you. Hit our 121 target. Nice. This is going to be the most pissed off you ever seen me about a target being reached at 121 right here. You know, does it pull back a little bit more? Maybe yes. 120 and a half would be the pullback target based upon this region right here, coming in from our last prior high in this region, also the last wick high right here. Like the confluence right there. However, still have to be bullish on this one as much as I fucking hate it. 123.5 to 124.5 ultimately. And then we'll talk about that as the next macro pivot. Short term, do we see any sort of things suggesting that we'll have a little bit more of a short term downside here? No, not really. In fact, I don't really see too much right here. Yes, there was maybe a little bit of bearish divergence right here on the highs. Yeah, extremely slight in the case that Caretaker actually didn't even identify it as such between this point and this point. And that's actually true because it shouldn't, but this is a very small read and usually just produces a very small pullback. In fact, on these sorts of reads right here, I only target the 10 simple rather than even the 21. And right now we're actually living below both. So would it be relevant to say that this has already played out? Yeah, it would be. However, if it does want to come down a little bit more and retest the breakout area right around, or sorry, not the breakout area, but the 120 pivot right here, 120 and a quarter, we should say. I wouldn't say that that's very much out of the question, but similar to all the other ones, I look at this as more or less an opportunity, and daily still looking fine, weekly still looking fine. I'd still think that this one does have some more upside to go over the hole here, and as much as I hate to say it, 123.5, likely the next long-term target, anywhere between there and about 124.5. Moving on to pound yen. Ooh, ho ho ho! That's right, baby. Go fuck yourself. This is what I really hope happens on something like euro dollar. Is it actually going to happen in that case? Nah, I don't know. But we did brush up against we once again brushed up against the top side resistance of this, going on all the way back to January of 2018. So nearly 3 years now that this resistance has been governing the lower highs, also alongside the 200 exponential average here as well, as you can see. And I'd be calling this very likely a reversal, and I'd still remain bearish on a macro term here, looking for price starting to find its way back down towards the 129, 130-ish region, probably for the next month or two. This one does look pretty damn shitty here, and this is personally speaking what I hope happens to like a euro dollar for my own sake. But look at this right here, and then look at this right here. Obviously, this one, fair enough, got to give it its fair dues, right? and we do see kind of similar setups on on a lot of the other ones as well. So it would be relevant to be very defensive within this region, assuming that actually can happen to the other ones, as it sometimes does tend to be a little bit of a leading indicator. But a lot would have to happen on a chart like this before that's even relevant, and that's why I do kind of mark off these more short-term pivots to the downside that I'd be looking for bounces off first and foremost. So for euro dollar, that would have been the 120 and I guess a third, I think I said before, quarter pivot, but the interpretation of it is the same. As long as we're above there, just generally bullish on all time frames. Start to break back down below, then yeah, we could talk about a fake out here, but with the golden cross just happening on euro dollar, do I think that that's likely to happen here? Probably not, no. But of course, as always, have the areas of interest kind of marked off. And for pound dollar right here, I'd be looking for this one to come all the way back down to about 131.5. Same thing with pound yen. I imagine that this is probably just some sort of like Brexit-driven bullshit over here, as it typically is. But pound yen, I'd be looking for a short-term move down to 137.5. Bouncy bounce there. Same thing with kind of pound dollar as well as we just looked at. Yen dollar, what do we see right here? Short-term, I'd probably be looking for it to come back down and test around the 10 simple, right around 95.73 or 95.75 region. However, what about the short-term? I'd be looking for this one to come down a little bit as well. Still of higher lows going upon that same exact region. So 95.69, 95.70-ish region is completely fine. Same thing on daily here too. I don't really have anything new to talk about right here. So fair enough. And I'm essentially bullish on this one long term as long as it's above about 95.20-ish region, wherever the 21 exponential moving average is on the weekly here. So it's kind of just stair-stepping its way onwards and upwards. Technically speaking, we do have one massive symmetrical triangle that did get resolved to the upside a couple months ago, actually not just a couple months ago, like 4 months ago in August. Actually, was that 4 months ago? I guess August, September, November, August, whatever. Months. We have calendars now. Fuck all that noise. Anyways, short term, yeah, probably does have a little bit of a downside move there, but weekly pivots show the real direction there. Nasdaq futures, what do we have here? Do we have anything to follow up on from this morning's video? A little bit of a short-term downside move there, but to me, just looks like another higher low on the hourly on the very short-term time frames. What about on the daily? Maybe does pull back to the 10 simple at the one spot 272, as those dudes have good confluence as it is right now. But again, the weekly look more new highs, and if it did come back down and fill last week's open somewhere around like 12.3, I'd look at that as a major opportunity, or even 12.350 around the one spot. What is this one right here? 272 as well. Yes, I would be looking for that. Ultimately, though, I do think that it guns for the measure move plus the fib extension right here at about 13,150 long term. What about gold? Gold bouncing back up quite aggressively here too. Do I think that there's more on this bounce, and do I think that the downside is ultimately over? I would say that this is pretty much hitting and fulfilling our 1750 target that we had coming into a couple weeks ago. Nope, short-term toppy. I'd be looking for this one to come back down, actually. I'd look for this one to come back down quite aggressively. In fact, 1810 region, I'd be looking for this area to come back down. Maybe it does set in a higher low right there, but short-term, yes, I would be looking for this one to pop back down. Daily. Yeah, daily's putting in a bit of a lower high right around the 21. I'd be looking for it to come back down here. Try a bounce somewhere around 1810. That's going to be the key critical ingredient, though. If that bounce fails, oh, baby, get ready for some new lows. If that bounce holds and we do see another closure back above 1850, well, reversal very likely in progress at the very least. However, you know what? I think I'll hold off on saying anything else because we'll just let time show us. Anyways, Bitcoin at 19. What is it? 19,150, 19,130? What in the hell? What in the fuck's going on over here? Anyways, short term down. Yeah, I'd be looking for this one to come back down and try another higher low somewhere right around the 55 exponential average right here, which is 18,000 and just below 900. So somewhere around there would be fine. And I would still respect this structure on first pass. Someone brought up a really good point in the Discord today. These are really higher lows right here. I mean, they're basically the same low, and depending upon which exchange that you're on, you actually might even see a lower low right here. So you know what I would do instead is I'd actually pull up a fresh chart instead. And do we want to do it on this chart? Yeah, you know what? We can just do a fresh chart right here. And as it stands right now, if anything, it's probably more or less a little bit of an ascending trend line right here. And would that have a measure move to the downside that would be in line with some of our downside targets? Perhaps yes. Let's go see. Oh, whoa, look at that. It's actually going to be lining up with the 200 simple and 200 exponential moving average relatively soon. And that would be right in line from this horizontal support right here. And if we were to, hold on, first let's put this number in the back of my mind's eye, 17,600. That does sound familiar now, doesn't it? Because if we go back onto our chart over here, that is exactly where the 382 fib retracement is right here. So multiple points of confluence if that trigger does indeed happen. But as we postulated before, it would still all be driven by a breakage of the 18.7 pivot. So any sort of a 4-hour closure below 18.7, probably even a 2-hour closure does it as well. Then yes, I would be looking for price action to travel another more than $1,000 actually, about $1,000 right there. By the same token, as long as Bitcoin's kind of consolidating this higher level right here and not breaking that area, does it still have a threat to actually break onto the upside? Yes, and I still have the same sort of critical areas to be aware of to the upside that I would look at to demonstrate an actual breakout to the an actual efficacious break to the upside. In this case right here, and it hasn't really changed since last week. That would be the 19,550 pivot to the upside, and then we can talk about targets to 20,500, 21,000, or sorry, not 21,000, but although that would be along the way, but 22,000 and 23,000 were the areas of interest as we spoke about on this morning's video. But I don't want to do a full-on analysis right here, obviously. So I just kind of keep a keen eye on this, and as it stands right now, putting another lower high right here likely does bode well for a little bit of a Bitcoin pullback, and then I can be vindicated for having the utmost patience that I deserve it. It's like hashtag I deserve it. Stupid, fucking dumb. But you get what I'm saying, right? In the sense that looking at this price action right here, ultimately higher term timeframes are all bullish. Some of what we saw in most of the Forex currency pairs. But short term, do we have a little bit of a pullback first? Yeah, it could very easily happen here. So I still remain a little bit more cautious than anything. And with that said, I think that's a good place for me to leave this one off. I'd like to wish you the best once again. Take care. And until next time.